All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our daily huddle, the start of a new week. And everybody here real quick as we're popping on. So hello from, where am I? Flagstaff. I am up in Flagstaff because Arizona hit like 100, Phoenix hit like 120 degrees, and I was like, no. That is definitely a no. So plus I just can't I can't stay in my house. So anyway, I just popped up here for the weekend, and I got my dad camped right next to me. So my dad came up. So hopefully we're gonna get into some trouble. I've got some teepees right behind me. Those are kind of cool. In any event, we are here for a new week. We've got some important things to discuss here this week. We have the Discover Seacret program, which is going really well. If you weren't on our company call on Friday, kind of our corporate call, a couple different updates and some of the events that we have coming up. But it's Monday. Monday is the finish of the week. It's like the finish of the month, really, in our comp plan. So I want you to be paying attention to this. It's something that should be on your mind, and you should be thinking about. Am I active? Am I qualified? Are the people on my team, are they active? Are they qualified? What do I need to get to my next rank? What do I need to prepare for my next rank advancement? What do I need to prepare for the run for whatever it is I'm headed towards? So this should be something we want to make sure we close out this week strong for all of our promotions, number one, heading into tomorrow. And I want you guys to know, you're not going to want to miss tomorrow. I got a very special guest, another leader from another country coming on here that I want to get a chance for you to hear a little bit about their story and what's happening. And also really looking into the international expansion and building your business really on a global scale, and some things I know that are going to help with that. Outside of that, what I really going to want to talk about here today really is this event coming up on August 8th. So if you haven't done so already, you want to make sure and get onto secretlive.com. We have the countdown up. It is 25 days, 17 hours, 25 minutes, and a few seconds left till our August 8th event, which is going to be a 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. event. In equivalent time zones, obviously figure that out. But this event is going to be, I believe, it's a really significant event. And part of it is because of what I know is coming, and the product lines that are being launched on the nutrition side and the product lines that are going to be launched on the skincare side. So this is the first time ever that we're having having a huge side. Man, I'm there's so much I want to say, and I'm like, I'm gonna get in trouble. But let me just at least say this: from on the skincare side, I've been with Seacret for 9 years. And we've, generally speaking, at conventions, we will launch a product or maybe two products. But this is the first time ever in 9 years. In fact, this is the first time in the development of Seacret, which was created in 2005, since 2008 or 9. In over 10 years, that Seacret has created an entirely brand new line of products. This is not a product. This is a new line of products. And that's probably more than I should be saying. But you didn't hear it from me. You heard that from Trish, because Trish isn't here this morning. So we'll blame that on her. And she was there, so she knows what's going on anyway. So, but the line of products, as well as speaking with Dr. Howard Cohn on what's coming, because guys, we're in an interesting time, and we're in this middle of this pandemic. But one of the things that I find just so sad, it's like it hurts my soul when I think about the fact that we're talking about prevention and preventing and keeping safe and all this stuff, and nobody's talking about being healthier and taking care of and strengthening your immune system. Like, nobody's talking about that. And what are the things that it's mind-boggling to me anyway, but that's a separate note. I'm not going to get into that whole rant. But what I do want to talk about is August 8th. Get on and register. But I can tell you what is going to be launched outside of the product lines that are being launched, number one, the things that are going to be launched as far as structures and systems, okay? So, and what I mean by that is what you guys are doing here with attraction marketing. God, how do I not get in trouble? What you guys are doing with attraction marketing and your ability to be able to communicate and connect with people all over the world is going to be game changing for you guys. And I can't. Anyway, let's move on. So, but here's what I do want you to understand is that the more people that you have, now is the time to really turn up what you're doing with your marketing, with your strategies, with, I'm telling you, in other words, collect leads from everywhere. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. That's the best I can give you right now. So is you want to be expanding your reach. You want to be in communication, and you're gonna want to make sure you get your butt to Royale and above as fast as humanly possible, because there's going to be, let's call them presents, on a regular basis coming to you for simply being at these positions. So anyway, I'm moving on from that, but August 8th, it's not just about having you there, is how many people can you have with you? Now, this is not a prospecting event, right? So not a prospecting event. However, this is going to be an event. It's free. Anybody can register. So I would have anybody that's even looking, somebody that's kind of checking out Seacret, wants to know about Seacret. I'm using this as a recruiting event, not as a first exposure, but for people that are going like, listen, hey, if you want to see what Seacret is up to right now, get this. But let's talk about the day itself. I am just like, I'm like heartbroken that we can't get together in August, because that was one of the things I was so excited about, is having this organization, Team Truth, fly into Phoenix and get a chance to have dinner at Isaac's home and with his family, and have a chance to take you on our tours and meet executive staff. And it's I'm trying to make it like, see the positive in everything. And it's hard for me because I want you guys to be here in Phoenix with me, and I want to spend a couple of days getting a chance to see you guys and getting a chance to get that close and connection. And events are so powerful. And I want you to put this in your notes, is write this down as the power of events. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about that today, because events are where people really make life-altering decisions. And there's something very special about the power of events. Now, I want to talk about live events, because although we're not having live events right now, we're going to have live events. And live events are going to happen at some point. We don't know exactly when, but they're definitely coming back. And we have our company event that's happening August next year. But this event in August, I want you to treat this like a live event. And I want you to take it on like a live event. And because what I mean by that is schedule it like you're taking a trip, like you're getting on a plane and going somewhere, like you're getting checked into a hotel room, like you are having all your distractions eliminated. It's one of the things that are so powerful about live events is there's a few different things, is having complete and focus, where, I mean, if you just turn your phone off, where there's no distractions. Right now, it's so easy, especially in something longer than 20 or 30 minutes. We've got these huddles in the morning. You can get focused for a short period of time, but to be dedicated, mentally engaged and focused for 6 hours, when you're not live in a living room with 1,000 of your fellow Seacret agents, with the lights and the convention and the pyrotechnics and whatever the heck Seacret is doing, which they always do crazy stuff at their events, and having that. But there's a powerful energy and emotion when people really come together in these live events. And I want to talk about the power of them, but this particular event is, I want you to, don't treat this as, oh, this is just the day I'm logging on to a Zoom. That is not August 8th. This is your convention, and I want you to treat it as such, and I want you to promote it as such, as this is the day. And I want you to have the expectation of coming into this event, when you come into events, of going, I am going to extract everything I can out of this particular event. I'm not just showing up to say that I showed up, so that way, like Ruth and Trish know I was here, I checked in. That's not what this is. This is a chance for you to really get a chance to dive in and connect with the content and the information, and to extract as much as you can out of it. So events, by far, if there was some single thing that I would say over the course of my career that was altering, was events. Events were catalysts for my future. And part of it was just having a dedicated, blocked out set of time of going, this is for me, and I'm going to get. So I want you to think about it as being really selfish at these events, so you can be selfless and pass it on and pay it forward. So it's about collecting. So because you can't give more until you become more. And that's what this is about, getting to the next level, getting to the next steps, getting to the next area. And I want to share with you, so, and this doesn't have to, and this isn't just secret events, these are any events. And this is where you compress decades into days. Okay. So compressing decades into days. And that's a great idea, Angela, is put it up on the big screen. All right. So get a babysitter. Right. So you know, do what you need to do to have, eliminate what you would do for a big event. Do that, right? So I know whenever I get up at big events, I say, look, one of the worst things for me, especially because I'm fortunate to host a lot of the conventions. And I say, look, guys, if you want to get the most out of this event, you want to take notes. And I always ask people, like, how many want to have a detailed manuscript of this entire event when you leave here that we hand you? And they go, yeah. I said, we'll start now. Create your own. Like, that's how you do it. I said, but the people that drive me the nuts is every once in a while, I will leave to just run out to go to the bathroom and come back. And it drives me bananas watching the hallway lurkers, right? And what I mean by that is you've got the people in the hallway. You have the bronze agent trying to teach the executive agent how to go diamond when the crowns are on stage. And I just don't understand why you would spend thousands of dollars, fly halfway around the world, and be in the hallway when the trainers are on stage. Like, and I always tell people, if you're on my team and I see you in the hallway, I'm just going to give you a high five in the face with a chair. You know, that's what's going to happen. So it just, you know, and it's out of love, because I'm like, I just, you know, get your butt in the seat and pay attention, because you just never know when it's that one thing, that one nugget, that one piece of information, that one thing. And that's really what it is. We go for those one little pieces. And a lot of times it's not, and it might not even be the most significant of the monumental things. So events are one of the things that I'm letting you guys know, because we don't know what it's going to be. And we don't know where it's going to come from. And we don't know whose line it is, or whose breakthrough, or whose mentality it is, or whose philosophy it is, or whose tip it is. Because sometimes it'll be, you could spend one day, you could get just one tip that will add another 10 grand to your check this year. Just one. And you don't know who's going to say it. And I don't even know who's going to say it. And because all of us are at different stages of our lives, different stages of business. So why events are so important is this is where you get to speed up your process, where you can compress so much time, because you get to spend time with so many people that have spent decades of their lives, number one. Number two is the associations, okay? The associations, the people that you get connected with, all right? So this is why these are so important. But outside of just the associations, the other things that for me were so impactful was the belief setting. And what I mean by that was listening to the people that had kind of been there, done that, and got the t-shirt right on it, and what they went through. And my favorite thing, honestly, was hearing the struggles. I don't know why, like that was the stuff that made it more real for me, was hearing that people, oh, wow, they went through this too. They struggled with this too. This was challenging for them too. Those things were really important for me to hear. But I want to share with you one of the moments that for me was probably one of the most significant moments, which was really my first big event. I was in network marketing in my first company for 4 months. I had made no money, as many of you guys know my story. And I finally had a grand opening. I invited people over. We got some signups, and they said, I got to go to this convention. And I was like, okay, fine. So it was in Las Vegas at the Riviera. If you guys remember, they tore that sucker down. And but this was November 2002. And I remember going out to the convention, and I took 3 people with me, because they said you have to have 3 legs. This is what they told me. So I was just like, okay. I kidnapped like 3 of my friends, and we all stayed in that circus, because the rooms were like $20, and we could all 4 fit in there. And we flipped off peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because we were all broke. One of them was when a student dancer, and one of my best friend, we were all dancers. Like none of us had money, and we were all like 20 years old. And so it was actually probably good, because we couldn't drink. I remember, like we couldn't gamble or couldn't drink. So we get to the convention, and I remember walking in, and you had to get there early, and everybody's suit and tie. This was a company called Prepaid Legal Shield. So it was all suit and tie people. And so we got it there early, and I walked in, and there's like 6,000 people in this room. And I fought my way to get up to the front, and I got there super early because that's what our leadership said. You got to get to the front row. People at the front make the most money, and I'm coachable. I'm like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. So I get to the front row, and I remember just like in awe of the whole thing. And I look around, and my first event ever, and a big scale and convention. And the guy next to me, I was like, "Is this crazy?" He's like, "I know this is crazy." And I was like, I had no idea there was going to be this many people here. And he was like, "Yeah, have you seen the main room?" And I was like, "Excuse me?" And they had to break it up because the Riviera couldn't hold that many people. And there was another main room that had 7,000 more people in it. And I didn't understand. So I'm sitting in the front of this screen with a stage that is small stage. This was the overflow room that I was in. So I remember this weekend, and I'm sitting there and I'm taking notes, and I'm laughing, I'm crying, and I'm up and I'm down, and I am like in. You guys know those people that are weird, you know? Oh, sorry, I lost my light. Hang on one sec. They are just, I am that guy, you know, that's so into this, right? And I remember it was day 2, was probably, and I'll never forget this day, was a speaker by the name of Jim Stovall came up. And Jim Stovall wrote the book, The Ultimate Gift, and a few others that later was turned into a movie. Now, Jim Stovall was huge in his world because Jim Stovall was blind. Now, he wasn't born blind. He went blind over the course of his adult life. And he talks about his journey of what it was like and the mentality from going from sight to no sight and losing his sight and then gaining his vision. And, right, you know, but what ended up happening was he went through this whole story, and I am like on the edge of my seat, riveted by this conversation. And part of the reason why is because he's walking around on the stage like he can see, and he's blind. And I'm like, this dude's falling off for sure. And I remember thinking for a solid year, like, how did he do that? Like, he must have practiced it first. He knew how many steps it was, but he did it so naturally, like he could see. So I'm sitting there, and he's talking about all these lessons in life and how you change your life when you change your mind. You change your life when you change your mind. And if it's so easy, then why do so many people fail? And he goes through this entire process, and I'll never forget. And he says, and he gives this example. And he goes, the reason why most people fail is he said, I call it the spider monkey syndrome. Spider monkey. So he talks about spider monkeys. He said down in Central South America, they said, I found out that Americans, if you can capture it and bring it back, Americans will buy it. So what they tried to do is Americans tried to capture these spider monkeys, right? And so they were trying to capture them up in the trees, and they're shooting up darts, and they can't get to them because they're too fast. And they try to get the nets up there, but it's, you know, too many trees. So the locals say, well, do you want to show you how to capture a spider monkey? And they said, it's very simple. What you do is you take a glass Coke bottle, and you drop one peanut in the bottle and put it at the base of the tree. And you have captured yourself a spider monkey. And they're like, really? It's that simple? Yeah, because here's what happens, right? So the spider monkey looks down, sees that one little peanut, and says, free peanut. Now, doesn't really need the peanut, okay? Doesn't really want the peanut, but, you know, free peanut, whatever. Climbs down the tree, sticks his hand inside the glass Coke bottle, grabs the peanut, making his fist too large to get out. And you have captured yourself a spider monkey. He'll just sit there, hanging on that one little peanut that he didn't even really want in the first place, and he can't eat it anyway. And you could literally just have little spider monkey parties right around him. He'll just sit there hanging on that one little peanut. Didn't even really want it in the first place. Can't eat it. You could put mounds of peanuts next to him, and he'll sit there hanging on to that one little peanut. Okay? Can't eat it. Didn't even really want it in the first place, but it was a free peanut. It's like, whatever, right? And eventually what they found out is that spider monkey will starve to death if you don't help them. Now, I remember listening to this story, and he says, after doing exhaustive research on the subject of spider monkeys, I believe I can share with all of you today at the Riviera Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas, without fear of contradiction, that spider monkeys are stupid. And everybody laughs. And I remember the pause, because he wasn't smiling, he wasn't laughing when he delivered that line. And I remember it vividly. And I got the DVD, and I probably watched it 100 times. And he says, but before we point our fingers at the spider monkeys, he said, what is it in your life that you're holding on to that you didn't really want in the first place, that's keeping you from everything that you really wanted? And I was like, oh God. I remember literally sitting back in my chair, and like this just release, this is letting go. Like, and he said, look, success in life is not so much the acquisition of things. For a lot of you, it's the release of things. It's what are you holding on? What are you not willing to let go of? And I remember that day, one of my big beliefs, because I was surrounded in this room, and most of the people in the room were older. They were 30s, 40s, 50s. The company was started in 1972. And everybody I saw on stage, there was nobody that was young or even younger. I mean, I think early 30s was pretty much the youngest that I saw. So to have a guy that was there, everybody was always, oh my God, you're here, you're so young. So I was reminded of how young I was. And I remember holding on to is that I'm too young to be successful. No one will take me serious. And that was the thing. And I remember going, I'm going to let that one go. You know, what are you holding on to? What is the belief that you're holding on to? Now, for me, that was just like, I can't even begin to tell you how much that one analogy changed my world. And I can repeat it to you, and I can remember the feeling of sitting in the chair. If I went back to the Riviera today, I could probably walk you to the location I was sitting in. It was that important to me. Now, that story may mean nothing to you. You're like, oh, it's a cute story. Spider monkey's cute. You know, peanuts. Got it. Let go. But I don't know what it's going to be on the 8th. I don't know when it's going to be at the next event. But I can promise you this, if you're staying at home and you're not showing up, you don't get those moments. You don't get those. You want to have those moments where you get those chills. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, I think it's one of the reasons I love watching singing shows and all that. Why do we love America's Got Talent and those golden buzzer moments? Is because you see those moments when, you know, it's like, holy cow, it's a real authentic moment of joy or release or got it, or like I got it. Like, it hits you. It doesn't even hit you in your head. It doesn't even hit you in your heart. It like hits you in your gut. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? And these events are so important. So whether it's August 8th or any events, don't just treat it like another event. Okay. So now these huddles, they're daily huddles. They're daily things, but the August 8th is not a daily thing. This is our convention. This is in replacement of us all supposed to be at the Talking Stick Convention Center here in Phoenix at the end of July in the midst of this. And we're going to be coming back to live events, but I want you to take on, because you have no idea. Imagine how, this is why promoting is so important, because the people that promoted that event to me, all they did was promote one event to me, and that one single event, and those moments changed the course of the Macpherson legacy. And that was how many years ago? And I look at that today and I go, and it was, what was it? It was deciding to go to a stupid event. That's what I called it. And so these things are really, 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 really important. So anyway, I hope I'm probably beating a dead horse at this point, but I want you guys to know that the inspiration, and I'll tell you the second thing that happened at the convention that really rocked my world, what was this, is they were doing recognition, and all these people were walking across the stage, and they were at this position called Executive Director, which was a touted leadership position, kind of be like, probably like platinum here. And I remember it was like people there were making like $3 to $5 grand a month. And for me, that was like, you know, balling out of control money. For me, when I was a 20-year-old kid, I was like three a month. Right. And I remember going, executive director, that's where I wanted to be. It was highlighted. It was an important rank. There was a lot of significance around it. And there were all these people crossing the stage, and all they were supposed to say was their name and their state. That's what they were doing. So the example, hi, you know, my name is Trish Vazera, you know, Phoenix, Arizona, you know, so, and this guy crossed the stage and he said, I don't remember his name. He says, Jesse Macpherson, California. And he walked off stage. And I turned to the guy next to me and I was like, did he just say California? He just said California. That guy went executive director? And I remember going, if that guy can't pronounce his state and he can do this, I for sure can do this. I can do. And you know what's crazy? That was it. So the two things that I got from my convention that made me believe was spider monkeys and California. Those were my two nuggets from the convention to this day. And I was telling people, I was like, what did you get for the convention? I was like, California. And everyone now is like jokes about it. Like even today, some of my friends laugh about it because it was one of those things where, and I was like, and people like, he didn't say California. I was like, he said California. Now, I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Maybe I misheard him, but thank God I misheard him, because even if he said it right, it would have ruined my experience. But I mean, it was just, that's what changed the belief factor for me. So I want you guys to know, tomorrow we have a very special guest. We're going to really kind of focus on some of these international things. But this event, August 8th, we got 25 days. This is a countdown. And I want you to prepare for it like you're preparing for an event. And I want you to call the people on your team, and I want you to let them know the importance of it. And what you can do is have them watch the replay of this. So this is an important opportunity. This is not announcing. There's a difference between announcing. Announcing is who, what, when, where. Promoting is why. You guys remember the who, what, when, where, why? Announcing is who, what, who, what, when, where. Who, well, company, time, location, website. Okay. Promoting is why. Why do you need to be there? Why is this event so important, right? I believe if you take this serious between now and August 8th, and you get a group of people to August 8th, and you take those people from August 8th and you go on a 90-day run from what's launched into Black Friday, many of you, if you choose to, will never work for anyone for the rest of your life, if you don't already. That'll be a choice that you'll have. You will have a choice to be self-employed for the remainder of your life. Well, you'll have the freedom to be able to get in a van down by the river and travel anywhere that you want, and be able to go experience a level of freedom and flexibility that most people in this world will get. And they'll say, how did you do it? And you'll say, well, I took the event seriously and I promoted the program seriously. And that's what I did. So that's it for today. See you guys tomorrow. Jesse Mack signing off. Flagstaff, Arizona. Bye.